Today we are doing an update video, and I actually have something that happened that was really super crazy, and I almost can't believe it happened. I'm gonna bring in the child that it happened to and have them tell you their story. First, I want to start out with some of the smaller things. So let's talk about birthdays. Isabella's birthday was back in August, and one of the gifts that Grandma Gail and Grandpa Joe sent, it said that it didn't get delivered, although it actually did. So lucky her, she got another birthday present from Grandma and Grandpa. So that arrived, and here's her opening it. All right, so Izzy has a present to open, and it's not her birthday, but
no, not my birthday.
One of the gifts that Grandma Gail and Grandpa Joe sent said it didn't arrive.
Yes.
So she sent another one.
Another one.
So that is what this is. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what it is.
You want to sit on my lap? Yeah. Can I open it?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's see. Make sure you don't cut it, though.
Yeah. I wouldn't do that, Mom.
Okay.
I've got you. I have no idea. What does it feel like? He really wants it.
What is it? Ooh, that's cute.
I can wear that at Christmas.
Whoa.
Look. A deal.
Logan really wanted this one.
I think that's a shirt.
What is it? Ooh, so two of them, a pink and a purple. And what are your favorite colors?
Pink and purple.
They knew. What do you tell them?
Thank you.
Now, she's going to open up something that she already got as a gift.
Yes.
But I told her not to unwrap the cellophane wrapping because what happens when you do it?
It expands. It expands.
It expands, like really ginormous. And we wanted to take this with us in the moving van, right?
Yeah. It's like it explodes.
Yes. So now you're going to go ahead and expand it. Let's see what happens.
Oh, yeah, there's also another wrap.
Yes, I think you're right. I see that. Charlie, watch your face.
Whoa.
You're like double.
It's doing this.
They're like trying to make this hard for me. Papa doesn't like. No, when you, I think when you put air in it, it goes really slow. It's not what I thought. It's a kitty cat. John's gonna start doing it.
There it is. It's a kitty cat.
It'll expand. Dryer. It's
Pablo. Can I show you what
Yeah.
John does with his thing?
What are you going to name this one? John has Pablo and Diego.
Kitty whiskers.
Whiskers. It has no whiskers.
You're right, it doesn't, does it? Also, real quick, you could probably tell in my voice that I'm not feeling the best. If you can believe it, I am sick again. Now, in the last couple of years, I have gotten sick so often. Like, I almost never get sick, or I used to almost never get sick. In the last couple of years, I have gotten sick a lot. Now, I am very sure that it has something to do with stress. And normally, when I am super stressed, obviously, I think with everybody, your body just gets run down and can't fight things. So I have been mega dosing on vitamin C, and it is helping. I think I was on my way to getting bronchitis or pneumonia, and by doing the vitamin C, I've only been sick for like 3 days. And that, I think, is a miracle because I've had this before, and I've had it for a couple weeks. So, but I'm sorry if my voice sounds funny today. Unfortunately, I can't help it. I'm just sick. So hopefully it will be better in the upcoming videos because I'm sure it sounds really froggy. So the next birthday thing is Charlie. One thing I love about our parents is that they love to come and visit us. So Sean's parents Grandma Gail and Grandpa Joe, they came to visit us here in our new house in Tennessee. And they came during Charlie's birthday. So it was just a couple days afterwards. So we saved our big cake for when they came. So Emma made a parrot cake. It was chocolate on chocolate, which is what Charlie requested. And can you tell our kids love chocolate? Seems like that's the cake that they always have. So we were able to celebrate with them. What'd you get?
A bunny.
Oh, it's a unicorn.
I found a.
Is that a card?
Yeah. Oh, Charlie, there's another thing.
No, it's not a card. I got that in
Magic wand.
Oh.
That's the receipt.
That's the receipt,
I'll
just
take
in
the
case.
receipt. I bought your present while I was on vacation.
Oh, who's this from?
Grandma and
Grandma Gail and Grandpa Joe, and are they here to visit us?
yeah.
Yeah, and they brought your present with them. What do you tell them?
Thank you.
You
You're
can say it in
welcome. What's
person.
there? Can you open it?
Mask.
A face mask?
Mask.
A sleep mask?
Uh-huh, it has a sleep mask. I'm sure she needs one.
I'm sure she does.
Open it from the top, right?
Don't whip your
Oh, and a robe.
That's cute.
It's a unicorn. Would
But
you
how
like some help
warm?
with that?
Yeah, I think how warm. There's the typing.
And she's chocolate.
Hey.
Let me see your unicorn. It has a robe and a sleep mask.
Yeah.
That's super cute.
Okay, here you go. This is open now.
And then you got a matching one?
Yeah.
I have a sleeping
All
mask,
right.
a robe, and a book.
Ooh. And a magic wand.
That's for your robe.
Oh, I was gonna
Let's
put
let
it
me
there.
see the book.
I think that wraps her robe up.
Yeah, you're right. I think it does.
So cute. Now you can match your unicorn.
Charlie, here's your
Lost it.
robe. She's just gonna go take a picture.
Are you going to match your unicorn?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, it's almost time to call Charlie up so we can sing her happy birthday. There's the cake Emma made. It's a double layer chocolate with parrot decorations all over.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to call her up so we can sing her happy birthday and then
Yes.
get the ice cream out.
Yes.
Everybody wants some
Yes, this is my half of the cake, and this is your guys'
because you made it.
Okay.
Wait a second, what about Charlie?
Oh, hold on.
She gets a quarter of it?
This much.
Oh, oh! Rude.
Her. Just chocolate on her face.
We have
Okay. Are you guys ready? We're going to light Charlie's candles and sing her happy birthday. No, hold on. We've got to light them all first, and then we'll start singing, okay, Christian?
We have actual candles this time too.
Yeah, instead of John's. That's what you do in a pinch.
Mom will get
Or
the
just have a cryo with friends.
happy birthday.
Okay, wait, ready? Happy birthday to
Charlie. Oh.
Cha-cha-cha!
Happy birthday to you. Cha cha cha. Happy birthday, dear Charlie. Happy birthday to you. Cha cha cha. Ooh la la. Chinese chicken. Hi-ya.
Christian, you can blow up.
Oh, Christian can help! Yay! Good job! Nice sharing.
Okay, no, don't take the candles out and let
Okay,
them.
yeah.
Hey, I want to take them out.
Oh, goodness.
One.
I had someone ask me if our chickens are laying eggs, and I know I kind of briefly talked about this up at the cabin because I found an egg in the back of the mule. Now, we have been moving them so much that you kind of can't expect them to lay eggs because they have to just really have a nice, calm environment where it's stable and they don't like being moved around. So, we have been getting a few eggs. We should be getting probably like 80 eggs by now, and we're only getting a couple a day. But and this is where I feel like karma comes in. I believe in karma. We always donate items, and like I had said back in Texas, we donated like I know, thousands and thousands of dollars worth of stuff to a place in town. Then we gave a bunch of stuff to the neighbors, and so, you know, we don't expect anything to come back to us, but usually it does, and that's where I feel like good karma comes in. So we actually were gifted a chicken coop from some people here that were giving it away, and it's actually like a, it wasn't just for chickens, it was like a farm type thing where you could keep goats, but we have so many chickens that our chickens take up this whole thing. Sean is actually working on it right now. I'll give you a sneak peek of it, and then I'll have to come back and show you because he's not completely done. But it's like an 18 by 18 structure that we're putting in the back.
Okay, so Dad's walking. He's making the roof.
Okay, now we're going to go to this one, okay?
John's
We want it
over
about the
there.
same length, like hang over the same to this one.
The boards.
See, all these are going to lay on
what's
that.
happening.
All these rafters are going to lay on this.
And then we also got a smaller chicken coop to go with that one, and then another like house that we're using for the ducks. And so I'll have to show you our new setup. But the chickens are kind of laying eggs. I would expect that once we get them all set up in their new coop, and it's been like that for a couple weeks, we will start seeing regular egg laying from all of the chickens, because I believe that every single bird we have at this point, except for maybe one of our birds, has or is 4 months old. Now, that doesn't mean that they will lay at 4 months. It's usually anywhere between 4 and 6 months. So it may be a couple months still before we see some of them lay eggs. But I know that we have a bunch of birds that are like 8 months old at this point. And so really they all should be laying. And I think that is maybe around 15 birds. So we should be consistently seeing at least 15 eggs, I would say. Next, on the chicken topic, we did clip their wings. So we went back and forth about it. And you know, it seems like it would be something that would hurt them, and it absolutely doesn't. We watched a bunch of videos and then bought an appropriate tool to cut, even though they say you can use just like regular scissors. But we bought a tool since we were doing so many of them. And then we just formed this line, and we would hold a bird, and then Sean would cut their wings, and then somebody would take it to the new coop. So we did decide to do that. Now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that they will grow back and you have to cut them every year, which is fine, because then if we decide that we don't want to cut them, we won't. But they were flying everywhere, and they were able to get away from us. Now, we do want them to obviously be able to get away from predators, but with the new chicken coop that we have, we should not have to worry about that. And so we felt comfortable then clipping their wings. Next, talking about animals, I have a little bit of sad news, and we have decided that we're going to rehome some of our cats. So we have 8 cats that came with us, and I should say, I guess, kitten and cats, because 3 of them are still considered kittens. So I have an appointment set up to get the 3 youngest fixed, but it's just gotten to be a little overwhelming. Before we had 20 acres, and having them run around wasn't that big of a deal. A lot of times they would hang out on the front porch, but you'd only have a few there at a time. Now they always hang out right by our front door. You can't even walk in and out without them all just being right there. And I do love the fact that they are so cuddly, and even though they're outdoor barn cats, they have like just the best personalities, and they're really, really loving cats. But we just feel like only having an acre and a half here, that that's just too many cats. And you know, and I'm sure, and I hate to say this, but sometimes I feel like people might even look at you funny. You know, we have like 75, 80 chickens, and then we have 8 cats running around the yard, and you, even though you don't want to care what people think, you do care what people think, and I guess you should to a certain extent. So we are going to find good homes for some of the cats, and then we're going to keep like 1 or 2 of them, I think. Now, everybody like loves a different cat. And so instead of us choosing, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have people come pick out which cat they would prefer, and then whatever one or two are left at the end are the ones that we'll keep. So we'll see. I tried rehoming some of them in Texas. My ad for some reason got flagged. I was always told that if you rehome an animal, you should always ask for a small rehoming fee, because then you ensure, at least to a certain degree, that they're going to somebody with a decent home because they're willing to pay money for that animal. Now, you don't want to ask for a lot of money, but enough that if it was somebody that just wanted to be mean or do something that, they wouldn't be willing to pay that amount. So I think maybe that's why my ad got flagged. I asked for just a small rehoming fee, which you're supposed to be able to do on Craigslist. And on Facebook, you can't do that because they don't have a pet place for any pet ads. So I need to go and see if my ad got flagged, because we haven't gotten any calls, but I'm sure it's harder I know it's harder to rehome older cats, even though 3 of ours are just 6-month-old kittens. But we're going to try to do that. Now, of course, if we can't find homes for them, at this point, I think we'll just hang on to them. But we would like to be able to find good homes for them, and I'm sure in time we will. Now, let's talk about where we live. I never even told you guys where we ended up at. So I had a couple comments from people, and I actually went back to comment to them on their comments, and they were gone. And so I don't know if they deleted them, or if somehow they got, usually I think I'm the only one that is able to remove them unless they want to delete the comment themselves. But for some reason I went back and I couldn't find the comments. There were 2 of them I can remember specifically that I wanted to comment on. One of them was talking about Newport, Tennessee, and that's where they live. And I was going to comment because we actually live close by Newport, Tennessee, and we go to that Lowe's and that Walmart a lot. And so I thought it was funny. I was just going to say, hey, maybe we'll run into each other at some point, because we're there quite a bit. Also, somebody had commented about Dandridge, Tennessee, and how it was such a quaint little town, and they were having like a hot air balloon festival, and that they live nearby Douglas Lake, and Douglas Lake is in part of it is in Dandridge. It's like a huge, ginormous lake. And so what I thought was so funny is that we actually ended up in Dandridge. And so we live close by some of you guys. And we absolutely love Dandridge. It is just like the best town. And it has so many different things here, I feel like. Not only does it have like multiple grocery stores and gosh, it just has all sorts of things, but it has fast food places and different types of restaurants. And one thing that I absolutely love that I haven't been to, like Sean and I both haven't been to in 20 years, and it is one of our favorite restaurants, is Ruby Tuesdays, and they have one here. And we said, oh my gosh, we have got to go there because hopefully it's as good as it was 20 years ago. But we ended up in Dandridge, and we love it. It is such a quaint little town, and that's exactly what this person had said, and it is. And there is so much history here in this town. It is actually the 2nd oldest town in Tennessee. So we are at the foothills. So we are actually on the east side of Knoxville, at the foothills of the mountains, so we can kind of see them off in the distance. So we just love it here, and we are going to be getting a P.O. box soon. I know there are some people that want to send things, and obviously we closed our P.O. box in Texas. So we will be getting a new P.O. box here shortly, but I just didn't want to do it quite yet. And so I would say in the next maybe week or 2, hopefully I'll have something set up. We're still, if you can believe it, we're still like out of sorts and trying to figure things out and get a routine and get structured. And somebody had asked me if we had started homeschool, and we started homeschooling like the week after we got here. But I'm not like I'm printing things either the night before or the day of. And so I don't have all of that stuff except for Charlie. I was ahead of my game with Charlie, and because she started kindergarten, and I had everything printed out for her for like 15 weeks. But then I went to go print the 3rd and 4th grade stuff, and our printer broke. And so I was not able to print the rest of the stuff. So we got here, I finally got a printer set up, and so now I'm just kind of behind the game, I feel like. And trying to figure out, you know, we have not as much furniture as we had before, so I don't really have a lot of places to put things. So we have been looking at furniture. We actually went to a furniture store the other day. Now, that's very odd for us because we usually buy things off of Facebook. When you have kids, and I'm sure most of you know, if you have kids, it's hard to keep new things nice, especially with so many kids and having a lot of young kids. And so it's really hard for us that when we get something nice, I feel like it gets ruined right away. So therefore, it's kind of like, why get anything new? So we usually will go out and look for things that are used, but in really good condition. So that way it costs us less, even though we're still getting something nice. So we actually went to a furniture store though and looked at brand new furniture. So that was fun, and I think we're gonna just keep looking at furniture stores and on Marketplace and see what we can find. One of our really, really big updates is that we decided not to get the cabin. Are you guys all like, oh my God, what? Because I know we were able to use the property, and you know, we were able to test it out, and there were some things that were red flags, and we just don't want to make a mistake again. So, you know, we're a little iffy on things because when we moved to Texas, we thought that that was going to be it, and then it ended up not being. And we just don't want to make another mistake like that, although we absolutely loved the land. We loved the mountains. We loved the area. The cabin was actually right next to Waynesville, North Carolina. And I am like in love with Waynesville. And so is Sean, and actually so were some of the kids. It's just gorgeous there. And whereas here on the Tennessee side, you don't really feel like you're in the mountains, even though you can see them like off in the distance, and you can tell that they're close. When you're in Waynesville, you feel like you're in the mountains, and we really love that feeling. So we have been looking for other things in that area just because we love it so much. But about the cabin, so there were some things that had us really thinking if it was going to be right. Number one, there was no electricity, which that doesn't mean you can't do solar, because you could. But to bring electricity to that lot, it was going to cost anywhere from $30,000 to $50,000. If we did solar, that was an option. We were a little concerned that like how many panels we were going to need, and how much sun we were actually going to be able to get, especially when you have all the trees and you really want to keep all those trees intact. I'm not exactly sure. I did a lot of research on solar, but I'm just not exactly sure how that would have worked. I think we probably could have made it work, but I was a little bit worried about that. The other thing was the water. We tried digging out the spring, and we had all these tiny little springs, but we went in to try to see if we could find the vein of it, and we couldn't. So I did some research again to find out how much water our family would use. Now, it depends, because a lot of the newer appliances like dishwashers, toilets, things like that use a lot less water than the older ones. So if we were to buy brand new things, which we would have had to do, like the difference between a toilet, let's say, I don't even know how long ago, let's say 5 years ago, they used to use like 5 to 7 gallons of water every time you flushed, whereas now they use 1 to 2 gallons every time you flush. But I think this number was based on older stuff, like older appliances, older toilets. But it said it was like 1 gallon of water per person per minute. And so that would have ended up being like 1,400 gallons a day we were going to need. And you can have like, we could have set up like water storage, and you know, during the evening or the nighttime when you're sleeping, you're not really using any water, so it could fill back up. But we weren't really sure if that spring was going to be able to accommodate that much water. And so that was another concern. Really, then, so Sean and the kids stayed the night there, and you guys saw that, and they had a blast. Except it rained the next morning, and the place was just a mud pit. And so it was so muddy. Now, obviously you can alleviate that by planting grass and bringing in rock and doing all those things. But that would have been stuff that we would have had to do over time. And we were a little worried about what that would look like with everybody always being, like if it rained, and it takes a long time for it to dry out there, obviously because of the trees and there not being a lot of sun that shines through there. So we were worried about muddy paws with the animals and muddy shoes all the time with the kids. And so just really trying to think through that. The biggest thing that happened that really got us wondering if this was the place for us was Sean had left his chainsaw out. And keep in mind, there's nobody on this side of the mountain with us. And there's very few houses that people live in there full time, like year round. Usually there are some where they're just there during the summer. So there wasn't a whole lot of people that really lived there, and nobody lived farther down the road than us. So Sean's chainsaw went missing. And then a couple days later, we had some guys drive up in like a mule type thing, and Sean stopped and introduced himself, and they said they were from farther down the mountain, which we found out later wasn't really true. They did not live in that neighborhood. They must have come up maybe from another neighborhood, and they just had a way they were able to get in access, because all of the roads really that you can get into that neighborhood were blocked off with gates and locked. So I'm not exactly sure how they got in, but you know, we started wondering, like, okay, what if we're all the way up here, like 10 minutes up the side of the mountain, and Sean said he just didn't really feel very comfortable leaving us alone. You know, if he had to go run an errand to do something, or you know, if him and I needed to go do something, or he said he just felt like he could never leave us alone there. After that happened, after we saw the guys, then we found out they didn't live in that neighborhood, and then the chainsaw went missing, and really there's nobody that should have even been there on that side of the mountain. And so after that happened, we decided that, and maybe, you know, maybe that would not have been a big deal for somebody else, but we're also new to this area, and we're new to the mountains, and so for us that was a red flag, where maybe that wouldn't be for someone else. But so we just decided that the cabin was not something that we were going to move forward with. Now, some of you thought we had already bought it, and I'm sure that's because of the way that I was phrasing things. Like I kept calling it our cabin and stuff like that. We had actually not closed. It was just easier for me to call it that way because we kind of felt like it was ours. It was something that we really loved, and we had gone in there and started doing some work already. And so, but we had not actually closed on it. And the people that actually own the cabin, they are like some of the nicest people I think we've ever met. They were just like amazing people. And Sean really got along with the gentleman. They had so much in common. And so anyways, we just really, really liked them. And they were just such good people. And we felt terrible, like absolutely terrible, that we ended up not moving forward with it. But again, after the Texas house, and we just don't want to make another mistake. And so we're being really careful. Now, we're trying to decide what to do at this point. We have some options. We can continue to look in the Waynesville area and see if we can find properties there. We could do that and find something that costs more, that's already like a house there and things like that. We could find something that costs less, like the cabin, and then build a house or just add on to what's there already. Or the house that we're actually in, that we're renting, is for sale. We knew this from the beginning. When we got here, we did not think it was going to be something that we were going to be interested in buying. But this is an option also. We could stay in the house that we're in. We could purchase this house, and we could just stay in this area. Now, we do love this area as well. So we like it here. It's a great town, and I would be absolutely thrilled to live here. So we're just trying to figure out what makes the most sense for us. And we're still in that working it out phase, like trying to figure out what does that look like? What does that look like long term? What are our hopes, our dreams? What about the kids? And, a lot of you will comment in the comments like, oh, the kids this and the kids that. And, just know that even though maybe I don't say it, I don't voice it on here, we always have the kids in mind. So we're always thinking about them and what's best for them. And, sometimes there is a balance that happens between what's best or what, like for instance, how do I say? Okay, so for instance, homeschooling. Right? Like maybe they don't get the social interaction all the time, but look at all the phenomenal things they're learning. And so, there's this balance there I feel like you have to have. Now, as you saw, they're in 4-H, and so we are doing a lot of the social stuff. We're looking into horse lessons for Rosie, and some other things we're doing as well. So I know you guys are really worried about the kids. We definitely have them in mind. We obviously definitely want what's best for them. And so sometimes, like I said, even though we don't say it, in the back end things are happening. So I have one more thing that I want to tell you, but I want to bring her in so she can tell you her story herself, because when she told me this, my jaw dropped. And I was like, what? You've got to be kidding me. So anyways, let me go get her. So it happened to Rosie. Let me tell you, so Sean went to go pick up a car part for his truck because the tailgate of his truck got ruined. And that's a whole nother story. But they went to go pick up a new tailgate, or a used tailgate, from a place that has like cars and you can go pick parts off of them. So he went and he had you,
Me,
John,
Gavin, and Christian.
Yeah, I think you four.
Yeah.
And so he walked in, he'd already put down like half the money, and then he just had to go pay the other half and then pick it up. So what happened to you?
So I had to go to the bathroom, and then the lady, because the bathroom was locked, so she had got the key and that stuff, so I went to the restroom, and then as I was coming out, she was just standing there. Like, I thought she was gone. She kind of scared me. But she was just standing there kind of close to the door, and then I walked out, and she came close to me, like, by the door, because it was down this little hallway, and she said, "Do you know that man?"
And she's asking her about so she's come in with Sean.
Dad. Yeah.
Yeah, she's walked in with Sean and the other kids, and
I was very confused at first. I was like, "What?" and she was like, "The man you came in with, do you know him?" And then very nicely I said, "Yes, I'm adopted."
And so she comes home and she tells me this, and my first response was actually Sean's first response as well, which was, how does she know that their mom isn't like Hispanic or black or, like you have Sean who's there. Okay, so he, and all the kids, every single one of our kids is biracial. So they're half white and half something. So Hispanic or black and you guys all have, darker skin.
Yeah,
Like the four that were with Sean. Mm-hmm. And so in my mind, I'm thinking,
how could they not?
What they would just think that their mom has dark skin.
Yeah, and she asked, so those are your siblings. You also know those kids too. I was like, yeah. Yes, I
thought
do.
that was so odd. Now, there's a certain aspect to this that I think that was nice just in case.
Yeah, that's what I think too, because if it actually had to happen, then she'd be saving my life.
Right, right. So there's a certain aspect to that is like, okay, well, good for her that, you know, she had the courage to ask, and just in case there was something going on. But it was a little jaw-dropping because I never thought that something like that would happen.
And actually, what's funny is it doesn't happen to Jade. It hasn't happened to anybody but me, Emma, and Elena. It's happened to all three of us.
Really? Mm-hmm. So, obviously it doesn't happen to Jade. Most people think Jade is our biological daughter.
Yeah.
And it's because she's white. I don't...
Honest truth. And her hair color.
Yeah.
And her eyes are blue like Dad's.
Her hair color is my hair color, and her eyes are Sean's color eyes. So it kind of does look like she's a mix of the two of us, I guess. Yeah. But if you were to see Jade and her birth mom, they look exactly alike. Like, exactly alike. And anyways, I just thought that was the craziest thing. Not something that I ever thought we would have to think about. And apparently then, you know, and I didn't know, a couple of other kids had similar things. You said Elena and Emma.
People have asked them too if they know the man that they came in with, or like sometimes they'll just walk up and say, "Are you okay?"
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay.
I think I've heard stories like that of, I think there was a mom who had, I think she was a black woman. She had a child, I think, who was white. And I think she actually had the police called on her or something like that. And I just think that, like, to me, that is so crazy. And I know that stuff happens. But yeah, I guess it happens to us.
When I told Dad, he was kind of offended. Like, I told him in the car when we were, like, leaving. He was kind of offended.
I think your initial reason is
like,
being offended. Yeah.
Because, like, he said, well, what'd you tell her? That's my dad? Like, when you know. I was like, no, I just said I'm adopted.
And that answers it right there. And that was actually that was perfect for you to say that. I probably wouldn't have thought to say that. I would have just said, yeah, that's my dad.
Well, it's funny because, like, literally 2 days but before that, Elena and Emma were talking about it, and then I was like, oh, if that ever happens to me, I'll just say I'm adopted, because that clears everything up.
Yeah, right, and that does.
Yeah, and then that happened to me 2 days later.
So crazy. Did they say where that happened to them at?
No, I'm not quite sure. I think maybe one time at the beach.
Oh, yeah.
That has happened. I'm not quite sure of that anywhere else.
Interesting. Anyways, I just thought that was really crazy. And apparently it's something I guess you have to worry about. But, you know, and you don't, I can't even, I mean, I don't know. You know, you think like they're your kids, and it's like, how do you prove to somebody? Yeah, you know, like I've got their birth certificates at home, but I don't like carry them with me.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
Like, what do you say?
Like, one time Elena and Charlie were together, and the girls asked Elena, and she said no. Yes, I know him. She asked Charlie instead of Elena.
Oh, jeez.
She was like, okay, Charlie, you know, little girl, you can tell me the truth. It's like, that is the truth.
Oh my gosh, I feel like all you do is you whip out your phone and you say, let me show you the Connley-clan.
Yeah, seriously.
This is us, you know.
Seriously.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, that is it for today's video. Why don't you guys comment down below and let me know what you think of Rosie's story. And we will see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.